Colonel Schaefer, I suspect I know what's going on here, and I suspect the intelligence says they've moved the drugs to oil tankers that are probably headed to the United States.
So there's a lot of things going on here. First, they did have secret compartments in tankers going back to the 90s. We actually were able to figure out how they were doing it. This may or may not be part of that, but I know one thing this is part of is the pressure on Maduro. And I'd like to believe, even Daniel will agree, that it's time for Maduro to leave. Nobody that I know in this town, Democrat or Republican, believes that Maduro
He's not on my Christmas card list, so...
Well, there you go. So that's a real ringing endorsement, by the way. So the fact is that this is more pressure on Maduro to do something, and I'd like to believe that they're going to be forcing him to go towards the door. One last point, because we talked about this a little bit before, yesterday too. Depending on which flag they were flying, depends on how legitimate that ship really is. This could have been a Panamanian flag ship that they knew was supporting Venezuela regarding the drug boats. If these drug boats aren't flying any flag, they're pirates. And we've been killing pirates since Jefferson was president, right?
That's right.
So right now, I think the Navy, with Special Operations Community, is doing a brilliant job of executing two things. Killing legitimate targets and putting pressure on a guy that we want to leave without having to invade the country. So that's what's going on.
The Democrat Party seems to be entirely in bed with the Tren de Aragua, international drug cartels, and with Nicolas Maduro. Trump derangement syndrome, new level?
I can't explain why, other than our Democrat friend here in the studio, apparently is reasonably assured.
I'm a nonpartisan reporter.
You know. Okay, sorry. I'm corrected.
Kira is telling me in my ear that the tanker, we've learned, was going to Iran. So Iran is another of the states which we are obviously trying to counter. In violation of oil sanctions.
There you go.
Right. Oil sanctions on Iran, and they don't care because they're commies, and the jihadis and the commies.
We know, Chris, that Venezuela became the jump-off point for a number of organizations. Hezbollah, which is, supported by Iran. The Chinese, who apparently their vision to open a bunch of Chinese restaurants in Venezuela, well, it was really to influence things here more than opening restaurants.
Now they can sell the Venezuelan oil and make some profits off of that. And remember, Trump, he would always talk about seizing the oil in Iraq or the Syrian oil fields, and I guess he has an opportunity to do some of that right now, and maybe give that money back to fentanyl victims because of all that.
Let me hit that point.
Drugs.
So we want to not damage the economy of Venezuela. We want to support the Venezuelan people. That's what we're trying to do. With that said, before Maduro was, oh my goodness, the other dictator, Chavez. And before Chavez, we had a very healthy relationship with Venezuela regarding trade for oil.
And it was one of the most prosperous countries in Latin America.
So we want to see that come back. That's what we want.
And you can't do it under Maduro. You can't do it under this kind of authoritarian regime that they have in power right now, and these rigged elections that they have in the
and I think your average American that's watching this, though, might have some concerns that this is an escalation. There was a lot of questions about, are we going to go inland in Venezuela? That's something you ask senators on Capitol Hill, how they feel. I've done it myself, and you can kind of just see how uncomfortable they get when they're posed that question. So I don't know. We'll have to see where this goes.